Hi everyone, I'm Sarthak, Lead Product Manager at Meta. I'm here with my colleagues to share how to build next generation mixed reality experiences using the Presence platform and Meta Quest Pro. You will learn about improvements to capabilities like pass-through, scene understanding, and an exciting new update that will enable developers to build co-located multiplayer experiences. Being able to see the physical world around you and blend it with virtual content opens up new possibilities for VR today. And it's a step towards our longer term vision for augmented reality. Like many in the industry, we call the ability to blend elements from the physical world into virtual experiences mixed reality, or MR for short. At Connect last year, we began the journey into mixed reality when we released Presence Platform. At launch, we provided three core capabilities: pass through, spatial anchors, and scene understanding. I am very excited by the creative experiences we have already seen many of you build with mixed reality, like gaming, which adapts virtual content to the physical room for ultimate immersion, or superpowered in productivity by combining huge virtual monitors with physical tools like keyboards and mice, or unleashing 3D creativity by collaborating with your coworkers in the same physical space. Mixed reality opens up new opportunities to engage your users. Here's an early look at what Resolution Games is building with mixed reality. MetaQuest 2 gave us an early look at the potential for mixed reality. MetaQuest Pro takes things to the next level, packing 4 times the number of pixels to deliver high resolution color pass through. And it includes improved sensors for understanding the space around users. With capabilities like scene understanding and anchoring, the objects in your room can become part of the virtual experience. I have Avinav here to tell us more about color pass-through.
Thanks, Sarthak. Hi, I'm Avinav, Product Manager at Meta. Pass-through enables you to build experiences that can blend virtual content with the physical world. Last year, we enabled pass-through in Presence Platform, and many of you created the first set of mixed reality experiences on MetaQuest 2. And now, with MetaQuest Pro, we're taking full advantage of the improved sensors, enabling pass-through in high-resolution color. Today, I'm here to share how you can bring high-resolution color pass-through into your apps on MetaQuest Pro. Pass-through API is available for OpenXR, Native, Unity, and Unreal development engines. And what's more, anything developers create for MetaQuest 2 using pass-through APIs will also run seamlessly on MetaQuest Pro. Let's dive in. You can composite pass-through layers with other VR layers using alpha blending. This allows you to define areas where pass-through is visible, adjust its opacity. You can create multiple layers of pass-through and choose the order in which they are composited. Take a look at how Cubism uses this. You can build apps with pass-through as a background with virtual objects on top, kind of like AR applications. The second capability is stylization. This provides you with the ability to make changes to the pass-through image attributes. You can customize pass-through using the controls in the OVR pass-through layer script by modifying the edge rendering filters, defining color maps, and applying contrast and brightness adjustments. Figmin XR is a great example of this. The third capability is surface projected pass-through. This allows you to specify the geometry onto which pass-through images are kind of projected. You can introduce windows into the physical world integrated with VR experiences. For example, you can project pass-through onto a stable depth surface, like a physical table, unlocking use cases such as interacting with keyboard, desktop objects like phone and pen.
Adding pass-through to your apps is one of the easiest ways to make VR more comfortable for your users. For example, with the pass-through mode in Gravity Sketch, I feel much more comfortable walking around my room and using my entire environment as a canvas for creativity in 3D. And I can still say hi to my colleague when he walks into the room without taking off my headset.
Indeed, Sarthak. Additionally, we have seen developers using pass-through to enhance productivity by combining virtual screens with physical tools. For example, with Immersed, users can spawn up to 5 virtual screens and program without distractions, or collaborate with others on virtual desktop. Seeing the real desk, keyboard, and mouse is now a breeze thanks to pass-through.
Thanks, Abhinav, for the overview of color pass-through. Going beyond pass-through, you've also seen many of you actively use scene understanding to create entirely new kinds of MR experiences that adapt to the user's personal space for the ultimate immersion. With me is Britta. She's going to tell us more about scene understanding.
Great to be here with you, Sarthak. Hey, I'm Britta, engineering manager at Meta. Earlier this year, we shipped spatial anchors, scene capture, and the scene model. And the creativity we have seen from you has been mind-blowing. From 3D creative apps to productivity to games, and even learning to play the piano. Here are a few quotes you shared. VR pales in comparison to designing a mixed reality game that takes place in the real world. And here's another. The scene capture starts automatically, making it almost effortless to start using the Scene API. But even more so, we appreciate your feedback and feature requests. So a huge thank you to all of our early adopters.
Let's start with a recap on spatial anchors.
Think of anchors as a way of pinning virtual content anywhere. For example, arrange your virtual screen around your table and know that they'll still be there the next day. Anchor resilience and recovery will continue to get better. For example, our recent update nearly doubled tracking resilience. Long-term, we're investing in deep learning, machine perception, and API improvements to make your anchors rock solid.
What do you think our developers should know about using the scene model?
All right, let's talk about the scene model then. Let me introduce this little critter, Serafino. We created him to demonstrate how you can convincingly blend the physical and the virtual worlds. See how Serafino is crawling around without walking through furniture? In order to do that, he needs to know the room's floor plan, including furniture. This is provided by the scene model. And see how he is being occluded here by the furniture? Also enabled by the scene model. To automatically move around, he needs a locomotion system. Our scene model can power both simple nav meshes and, as in Serafino's case, procedural animation. You could also manually steer Serafino across the wall and furniture like this. This is the scene model at work again. It makes him aware of the 3D geometry of the room. And see that little blob shadow here? Shadows are super important cues for humans. They add depth and a sense of realism. Scene model allows you to make plausible blob shadows. Now, won't you stay off that bit, Serafino? With semantic object labels like wall and table, which are also part of scene model, you can make sure he doesn't crawl up the bit like a good pet.
That's cool. Can you do physics too?
Yes. Remember Ape from last year? That's him now in high-resolution color pass-through on Meta Quest Pro. See how that virtual ball he's chasing bounces off the real wall? That's the physics engine at work, enabled by the scene model. And that multi-tools ray hitting the wall? This is raycasting, also enabled by scene model.
Got it. In order to build this experience with the scene model, we need a way to capture the environment around the user. This is where scene capture comes in. As a quick recap, scene capture is the system UX with which users can manually tag their walls and furniture. Britta, can you tell us more about what's coming next with scene capture?
Absolutely. We've heard you're eager to see how we're improving the scene capture flow for people. Beyond reliability improvements, in the coming months, we're making 3 upgrades to scene capture based on your feedback. 1, we're adding scene recovery to ensure people can reliably retrieve their scene model. This avoids the friction of a user needing to recapture their room. 2, we're also introducing on-demand capture. You can specify what objects you want to capture, details like suite tables or a single door. And 3, we're going to add more types of scene elements that the user can capture, such as screens, shelves, and plants. And longer term, we will be focusing on capabilities that reduce user friction and make scene capture more seamless. We'll have more to share in the coming months.
That was great, Britta. Thank you. A big part of why we are building these capabilities is all about bringing people together. And here's Charlene to tell us more about how you can leverage MR to do exactly that.
Thanks, Sartek. Hi, I'm Charlene, Product Manager at Meta. Imagine being able to play a virtual game with friends and family in your living room. Seems simple enough, right? But it's actually a complex problem to solve, especially when you're dealing with the relative position of people and virtual content in the same space. We want to make these type of experiences easy for you to build. This is why I'm excited to announce Shared Spatial Anchors, an update to our Spatial Anchors capability in Presence Platform. We've heard that many of you want to build co-located multiplayer apps. It's an exciting new domain in mixed reality for both entertainment and collaboration. Gone are the days when co-located experiences could only be built with external sensors in a managed arcade-style space. You can now bring these experiences into people's living rooms. More specifically, Shared Spatial Anchors builds on the Spatial Anchors API by providing additional methods that allow users to start co-located sessions. You get new APIs to save and grant other users access to shareable anchors. Upon loading shared anchors, users are able to establish a common frame of reference, so people in the same physical space can see and interact with the same virtual content, unlocking co-location. You can build co-located experiences by combining pass-through, scene, and shared anchors capabilities in Presence Platform. Here you see a demo with co-located players. They all have a shared frame of reference and can share virtual content like crystals. What makes this fun is experiencing something magical in mixed reality with your friends and family right in your living room. This is an example from one of our early development partners, BeatShapers. It's a co-located game with remote-controlled tanks that you can play in your own home.
I'm excited by the new categories of co-located multiplayer games you can build.
That's right, and we're also excited to see how developers will bring co-location to productivity experiences. We're working on this too. For example, Workrooms has a project we call Magic Room to make collaboration engaging and productive. We believe shared spatial anchors will bring people together to socialize, collaborate, and have fun. Back to you, Sartek.
When you bring pass-through, scene understanding, and shared anchors together, you can create entirely new experiences. Today, we are also announcing a dedicated shelf for MR titles on the MetaQuest store, where we will promote select mixed reality experiences. We believe this will drive user awareness for MR. We are committed to making it as easy as possible for you to create MR experiences. To access documentation and sample code, visit Presence Platform on the web and get started. You will find OpenXR API documentation, Unity and Unreal plugins, guidance on best practices, source code for the world beyond, and other samples. And we will continue to support PC Link as a developer tool for mixed reality. This makes it easier for you to test and iterate on the PC without deploying to the headset. We have said before that experiences developers create will really shine when our hardware and software leap forward. With Presence Platform and Meta Quest Pro, people are going to experience the power of combining physical and virtual worlds in entirely new ways. We are excited by the enthusiastic support we have already seen from developers building mixed reality experiences. Together, we are taking one step closer to delivering the future, one step closer to the metaverse.